Good day, Lana here from LanaBoyuk.com. I would like to have a conversation with you today about how to have difficult conversations, honest conversations, conversations that allow you to gain clarity in some part of your life where you are not feeling clear. And so you're creating stories, you're projecting onto someone a belief that you have, which can often create a rift between the individuals. So my own personal experience is that due to my own conditioning, I have absolutely, certainly seen myself in situations where there has been some great discomfort in a relationship, and if it felt too painful, too difficult, too vulnerable for me to be as honest as I know I needed to be with that individual, that I have just cut off the friendship, just cut off the relationship, because it was just too scary to communicate my fears, my doubts, my insecurities, right? This happened about a year and a half ago at somebody that was a very good person and a good friend for a long time. And my own doubts, my own insecurities around where I was at in my own life, and where I was headed, and just stuff that was coming up, brought me to a point where I was reckless, and I caused a lot of hurt. I am, on the other side of that, grateful for that very difficult experience, because it has made me almost hyper vigilant about how I approach difficult situations with individuals that I feel are worthy of investing in, all right? Because there's going to be some relationships that they're complete. It's just time to let them go. But those that we know are not complete and that they are worthy relationships, there's a lot of growth there, there's a lot of gifts there, we've got to invest in that, right? And B, there's something that we are independently going to experience and grow from. Maybe it is harnessing our voice, harnessing our courage. So there's a personal evolution that is also going to happen, in addition to the collective spiritual growth, evolution, healing that can happen when two people get really raw and honest and transparent with each other. So I'd like to give you a little bit to work with here, because there's a quality of discernment, right? You need to feel that you can be supported by this individual that you're going to have this conversation with. Because if they're not in a healthy place within themselves, and they feel wounded, or they feel as though they won't be able to trust you, so they're only half listening and they're not really invested, then maybe it's not a worthy way to use your energy, which is trying to establish a clean foundation and a fertile foundation in which you can both grow upon. So there's discernment. Is this a relationship that you really and truly are invested in enriching? Is this a relationship that you know that there is a lot of growth potential still, and that this is your opportunity to really grow in your own sense of self-love, self-worth, self-value? Can you find that this individual is committed in the same way you are as growing the relationship in a deeper way, because everything evolves, right? And even with friendships and relationships of any kind, we reach these points where there's an up-leveling that is to happen. Can you be authentic? And can you be vulnerable? Can you be transparent? Can you be raw with this individual and know that they're not going to judge you, and rather really meet you and feel compassion for that vulnerability that you're presenting? And see, is this individual somebody that carries qualities that you yourself desire to grow into and emulate? All right? Remember, who we surround ourselves with is who we're going to become. So does this person have aspects that you desire to embody yourself, all right, grow into? Because they're probably already within you, which is why you're drawn to this individual in the first place. So let's say you feel as though you are envious of this person, and so what they're doing in the world causes you to feel a little bit less than, or creating some self-doubt for yourself. Can you be honest with that individual and let them know, wow, I'm really triggered here. I'm really afraid that I am not going to be seen. You're kind of taking the spotlight, or that's my perception, or I feel threatened because we do similar things. Can you be that honest with that individual? All right? Can you have that difficult conversation and hear from them, their perception, their perspective? If there is an individual in your life where you just feel that they don't love you, they don't honor you, they don't respect you, they don't see you, and that's making you feel like you're not important, or it's triggering your wounds around rejection, abandonment, and not mattering, not being important. Can you have that conversation with that person and share with them, this is what's coming up for me, and I just want to know, is this true? Is this really how you feel, right? And when we give somebody that opportunity to really speak their truth, oh, I know for myself, more often than not, like 90% of the time, what I am believing is so inaccurate. All right? There might be some wave, some current of truth in it, but I definitely have blown it way out of proportion. Okay? So we want to give somebody that we care about and that we want to invest in the relationship with the opportunity to know what we're thinking, what we're feeling, and to have a voice and share their perspective. So a couple of ways that I have learned to ready myself for difficult, very honest encounters where I feel my wounds coming up, is I get very, very, very grounded. So I definitely get more involved in my physical practices that bring me into my body, and any kind of movement is going to do that for us. I'm taking better care as far as my rest and rejuvenation goes, that regenerative qualities that I need. I eat better. If I'm not already eating well, I'm really attentive to how well I'm eating, because food is going to have a big impact on how well we feel, right? It's going to affect our moods. And so if our moods are unstable, we're going to be probably more vulnerable, more hypersensitive. So get grounded by choosing really good foods. I also do a lot of journaling. I try to purge my insecurities. I look at what's really coming up. I ask questions like, why am I feeling afraid? What does this person represent to me that I'm so triggered by them? What are they doing right? Get into that. And then I even play out, so what if they don't receive this well? Then what? What am I willing to do? Is this a relationship that I'm invested in, or am I willing to let it go because we reach an impasse and we're just not able to meet from a place of the heart and compassion? Sometimes the conversation just needs to be had because I need completion, and I might not be invested in there being a long-standing relationship. So you need to get clear on why you're doing this. What is your hope, right? What is your intention? And be willing to not be attached to what the outcome is going to be. Because it's either going to be so much better than what you had hoped for, or it might be painful. And regardless, honor that you've showed up, you've been in your authenticity, and you've been in truth and integrity. What I did learn about the destructive way that I approached that relationship and its near demise is that it has haunted me. From the moment I said what I needed to say without including them in a sensitive, respectful way, it has been just this constant lingering reminder of how destructive I can be with my words and how reckless I can be emotionally, and the impact that that will have on somebody. And that if this person wasn't as self-aware and healthy emotionally, that relationship would have completely ended. So it was that person's maturity that has allowed us to find our way through these waters, these somewhat choppier waters of renegotiating the relationship and finding our new boundaries, right? So please don't be reckless. Don't be insensitive. And when we're hurt, when we are in fear and scarcity and self-doubt, we can be reckless and we can be insensitive. I would also add that there are times where those that surround us can offer incredibly wise counsel and help us navigate through difficult situations and help us gain a perspective. And there are times that those around us who are so invested in our well-being, who may also be similarly triggered by what we're sharing and have their own experience with that in another relationship of their own, that they might not be able to give us the most objective viewpoint and almost side with us, reinforcing our stance, right? That might be when it's best to work with a therapist or a counselor who you don't know. They don't know the situation, all right? So they're more objective. So I am sharing this with you because relationships are really sacred things. And we can have a lot of acquaintances, but true friendship, there's a soul connection there. And when we sever that tie in a reckless way, that emotional repercussion can linger and move so deeply through us that it will trigger other aspects of us that still need to be healed, which in itself can be a gift, but at a great cost. So love on your friends, your real friends, please, and be kind to everyone. But I implore you, be very careful about how you go about having difficult, honest conversations with people. Stay in your truth, stay in honor, stay in integrity, and be respectful. If I may be able to support you in some way, I am a transformational life coach, and I am really quite good at helping individuals transition in their lives, release, heal, transform. I also lead very unique yoga teacher training programs, a 200-hour and a 300-hour. So you can find out more at LanaBoyuk.com. I wish you a really beautiful day. Deep love, much compassion for you on your journey. Namaste.